Gucci Mane Flair, along with Lies and Wasted, song number 4 on the 4-player for it. And I said, how can I top having Frankie in the studio? I have the social media queen. You know they say that you're addicted to this stuff, to all that.
Oh, to my BlackBerry?
Yeah. See, don't tweet while you put that down.
No, I don't. I just try to turn it
I heard that you're addicted to this.
Absolutely. That's wrong. That's a rumor. Like
Tameka Raymond in the studio right now. Live. Not on tape. You're twittering. Are you tweeting?
No,
what are you
I'm
doing?
turning my ringer off.
Okay, turn your ringer off.
Okay,
What are you more addicted to? I mean, I heard you send you have like 1 million updates. Like you really are on this Twitter thing.
Come on.
I'm asking you because I don't know.
Sensationalized.
Do you really tweet a lot?
I have about, 5,000 or 6,000 updates. I don't know. I'm on an actual hiatus.
You're taking a break.
I'm taking a break for this whole month of October. I have so much other stuff to do, and I don't have time to stop and reply to a tweet or twit.
But you have.
Well, no. What happens is I have a lot of followers, and so they ask questions. So I have to respond. I feel rude if I don't respond. If these people are saying nice, encouraging things, and some of them say rude things, I respond to some of them.
Do you reply back to somebody that has said something unflattering about you? Have you ever done that before?
I have, but I've also retweeted what other people have said, and it's gotten misconstrued that I said it originally. See, there's a thing, you know how you retweet something, and then sometimes that'll make the other person think that you said it originally. Okay.
Well, we're going to talk about the social network and all that stuff first, but I want to go ahead and talk about your event that you're going to be doing.
Yes.
So tell me what's going on with the Lost Ones.
The Lost Ones is a nonprofit organization that I actually started it last year, but then of course I had a baby and all kinds of other stuff. I was so busy, moved into
a couple of babies.
You
was in the baby business.
I am in the baby business.
You are in the baby. How many total?
I have 5 boys.
5 boys.
I do. And they're not all babies. I have 2 that are, I guess you can consider them babies.
Right.
Yeah. So I have, one that's almost 2, will be 2 next month. And then I have one that will be 1 in December. Okay.
So when you are juggling all of this stuff and knowing that you are a mom and trying to do a nonprofit, how can you do both? How is it possible? What do you have to do?
Oh, good. You have to add maybe about 4 more things onto that. But those are the things we're talking about. It's just a matter of, being really busy and being challenged and having a lot to do is actually motivational for me. I go harder.
Right.
Because, some people get really stressed out under pressure and they crack. I like more pressure. I like to go faster and harder. So it's good. I juggle it all. I have help. I have a good team, good system, everything.
Like nannies?
I have a nanny.
A nanny. Is it like the super nanny?
She is a super duper nanny. She can carry them both up the stairs, and they're both very, very heavy. You know, they 27 pounds. She carries them up the stairs. She's very, very good, very efficient.
Tameka Raymond is in the studio with us right now on the Ryan Cameron Show. We wanted to have you on to talk about the bloggers and the things that have been said that, everything from you plagiarizing an article that you put out that you were getting a lot of praise for. Let's start with that.
Okay.
You tell us what you wrote, and then somebody tried to say that it was something they wrote.
Well, actually, that didn't happen either. So, okay. Well, what happened was I wrote a piece for the Huffington Post.
Right.
It was called She's Pretty for a Dark-Skinned Girl.
Okay.
And there's another writer that wrote something called She's Pretty for a Black Girl.
Okay.
But the reason why I even named my piece that is because it's more typical, I think, that you'll hear black women, they'll see another black woman and they'll, oh, she's cute to be dark.
Right.
Oh, she all right, or she okay to be this, or she cute to be a mother, or to have 5 kids. You know what I mean?
If she was smaller, she'd be pretty.
Yeah. So that's where I got the title from just the erroneous comment, that the compliment that people, they consider a compliment, but they're really kind of dissing you at the same time.
Okay.
And the person that wrote the other piece, which was called She's Pretty for a Black Girl,
right?
She actually never said anything about play. I've spoken to her. We've had a very, very good.
So how did somebody just put that up on a blog site?
Of course. You've got writers that have their own agendas, and they made it into a beef that didn't exist. She and I spoke, and we spoke about the commonality of, the issue, just that in blacks as a whole, oftentimes we don't support one another.
Right.
And that was actually an indication that my piece was relevant. The fact that people tried to say, oh, she plagiarized it.
Do you feel like because of the social media and bloggers and I like to call them people who have keyboard courage?
I do. I call it. They're like.
I mean, I got it from Ryan Stewart from 790. So I always tell them I'm gonna give him credit for it. But it's so true that they can hide behind a screen name or a Twitter name and say whatever they want to say.
Foolish.
Do you feel like that your marriage had an obstacle to try to overcome from day one because of that?
Absolutely. We both, chose not to speak out about it much. So then people surmised a lot in their own minds and came up with their own versions of their own remixes of everything that we went through. We had a real hard way to go, and as it pertains to that. But, there are good blogs and there are bad blogs. I'm not like an anti-blogger.
Are you anti-media?
I'm not an anti-media
because
person.
We were at an event at the Tyler Perry event, and you were sitting down eating, and I walked over.
I was pregnant now. See, I might have been emotional.
And you was like, uh-oh, let me be quiet. You a member of the media.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That was a generalization. And
I know, but I don't think that's, because I have a lot of friends and I always try to say.
No, you beat me up about Lauryn Hill a long time ago. About Lauren's clothes or something. It was like an old.
Oh, did you didn't return the clothes? Or she didn't return the clothes or something like that?
Something like to a showroom.
But see, I didn't know. Okay, and if that was true, then that was true. Then I apologize if it wasn't true. But then you did an interview with Essence.com once.
Yeah, that was
and
my
I
first
quoted
interview.
From the interview.
First interview.
I quoted from the interview. Usher called me, and you were in the background saying, I thought he was your friend, but I took the interview from something you did, Tameka, so why am I at fault for that?
Well, what happens is even when you do an interview,
right,
except for when it's live like this and you can hear me actually
your words
speak,
are misinterpreted.
Well, they're misconstrued because you can leave out one sentence that can change the whole feeling of the statement.
True.
So if you're writing what I said, for example, great example, that interview, it was about, the question was about women calling me a gold digger.
Right.
Well, I said, how can I be a gold digger with a man that's so attractive, so talented, so loving, so many good things about him. Like, it's a no-brainer of why I fell in love with him. But then my statement was, there's women in China who've never met him that would marry him in a heartbeat.
Right.
So I know him well. He's a good friend of mine. So why would I be a gold digger? So they took out something and made it like everybody wants to be in my shoes. And I didn't say that.
Okay.
So it got misconstrued like I was being cocky or like I had an attitude saying, ooh, everybody wishes that they were me. And that's not what I was saying.
Okay. But it's live here, so you can correct that.
So no, I wasn't saying that people were jealous or people wanted to be me. You know what I'm saying? I was making a statement that I fell in love with someone and I know him very well. There's people in other countries that we see all the time that are like screaming and sending fan mail, wanting to give their firstborn to him. So you know what I mean?
Okay. So do you feel like being a stylist before you were the wife of a worldwide entertainer, did you expect this? Because you had seen it as being the person you would show up on the set, you had to put them in the photo shoots and blah, 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 and then all of a sudden you take on that last name. Did it seem like just a floodgate of criticism just opened up for you? And were you not expecting that, knowing that the adulation that a person like that stature has around the world?
Well, I mean, you're dealing with very convoluted details. You're dealing with very, very, like the way we got together and everything is very muddied, and it was given a very bad story in the beginning, whereas where it should have been a really princess and storybook type of thing, it was all given to the media.
The first thing we saw was that picture of y'all on the beach. Exactly.
And it was all taken negative, like, she's married, she's this, but no one knew the circumstances between me and my ex or why I was on that beach. Or, so they came up with their own, it was like caption this, you see a picture and then people just kind of made their own, judgments, and judgment is the best word.